Good morning and happy Friday. It is June 9th. My name is Russ Lag, and I am your host today for Big Agent Meeting. Today, we've got a stellar lineup for you. We're cranking out June, kicking it off big with Chief Growth Officer Michael Valdez. He's going to be having a conversation with Chief Strategy Officer Leo Pareja. They've got something to announce today that I thought was super cool. Got a preview of it last night, and it kind of blew me away. You guys are going to love seeing what they're going to be showing you guys. Then we're going to jump into Global Operations VP Megan Kelly and talk about global, right? It'll be first time having her on the show talking about global stuff. What do we do in other countries? What does she do? That kind of stuff. She's part of our Meet the Leader segment, so you guys can meet VP Megan Kelly. Then I'm going to jump into Carrie Shull, team lead / agent extraordinaire. I got to meet her at Shareholders in person, had a fantastic conversation. She is amazing. We're going to have a great show with her today. She's got a lot of really good stuff that she's going to talk about today. And then we'll finish off with Kurt Euler, otherwise known as the Gator Wrestler, Marketing and Operations VP for EXPRealty.com. That guy is going to talk about something we have that I love, which is the Referral app, and he's going to show you guys how it works. It's pretty cool. Works super well. So with that said, let's drop in Michael Valdez, Chief Growth Officer, and Leo Pareja, Chief Strategy Officer. Hey, guys.
What's up, Russ? How are you, man?
Good morning. Rock and roll, baby. This is the way I love to start my Fridays at 11 a.m. with you guys. I'm going to let you guys take it away. It's all yours, guys.
Leo, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing fantastic. Super excited to share with everybody with the news we got ready to go out.
Come on. Do we need a drum roll? What do we need?
All right. I'll give it to you. Go ahead, Michael.
Let's do it. Russ, you're supposed to do a drum roll, brother. What's wrong with you? Come on.
I can, but it really makes Randy mad.
So we're here to announce today we had the top 1,000 list come out, and we had the most agents ever represented by EXP, 48 in total on this list. Leo, what does that mean?
First of all, that's a huge accomplishment. When you think of the total amount of agents that participate in this list submissions, there was over 27,700 applications that submitted to qualify for this. But if you start looking at some of the numbers that our company did, I mean, our number one individual agent, John Scalia out of Cooper City, Florida, did 862 transactions as an individual agent. I mean, I know brokerages, entire offices that don't do that kind of volume. And if we,
but you know what? Listen, I want to put this in context. 27,000 plus submissions for the 1,000 top list. We've got almost 50 people on that list. We start talking about what we've been doing with production. We already know that we were ranked the number one agency in terms of transactions this year. We're starting to see where we rank in a lot of the top 10s as far as production across the nation and really internationally. But when we start looking at this, this is truly the place to be if you are a productive agent. And this is the proof of this. Look at how many people we've gotten on this list.
Absolutely. The sentence I affectionately say to some of my friends who are still not here is like, what you're doing over there is high school or college football. If you want to join the NFL, you got to put on the EXP jersey and you got to join the most competitive company there is. Our number one mega agent team by sides, Don Winter, Allentown, Pennsylvania, did 2,647 transactions. I mean, just get your head around what that looks like. Production.
There's only 365 days in a year. How do you do 2,700 transactions in a year?
Yeah, and Michael, share what the number one volume team from EXP did on this list.
So we have the short team that did over 1 billion. That's with a B. You know, that's always Jeff Whiteside's favorite word. Billions with a B. Over $1 billion in sales volume. That's incredible. That's incredible. You know, there's a lot of momentum around us today. I think everyone has seen what our announcements have been of late. We just were selected to be part of the S&P Small Cap 600 Index, which is an amazing, amazing accomplishment. This is truly an honor for us. Wall Street seems to have liked it, if anyone has seen the stock this week. It's been an incredible, incredible recognition of the efforts that all of these agents across the globe have done. Almost 90 agents across 24 countries. This is truly an incredible accomplishment. And Leo, I know you and I are dedicated to truly honoring what are these most productive agents across the country and really across the world. But do you want to share a little bit about what we're going to be doing soon?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the announcement of the top 50, we're focused on all of the kind of metrics of top performers: units, volume, and gross commission income. Obviously, different price points in the country affect your business, but you could still be doing a fantastic unit business that might not look like some of these multi-billion-dollar teams. But one of the things that Michael and I are doing is, obviously, we'll have the events at the national events, but throughout the year, Michael and I will be visiting some markets. So we're going to have one in Florida, followed by LA, and then we'll be looking for our next path. So stay tuned. They will be invitation only, based on making these rankings and bringing in some top folks in addition to us to mastermind and see how we can help you take your business to the next level. But at the end of the day, we're a real estate company. We're the most agent-centric real estate company, but that also means that we have the best performers in the country as well.
And and these are actually workshops where we're changing the conversation. If you were at Shareholders, Glenn hosted a top 50 mastermind, which was amazing. And really, we wanted to take that momentum. So as Leo said, we're taking that on the road. This is workshops. This is truly your business. You're the CEO of your own business. So we want to come in here and get the best of the best in one room to talk about how do you increase your business in a shifting market? How do you increase your margins? This is truly conversations that are not going to happen anywhere else. And these are learning from the best of the best in your space. And so, as Leo said, this is an invitation only based. You can only get in the room if you earn your spot in the room. So we're looking at the top 50 list from last year. We're looking at top production lists like this one. All of these 48 people will be invited. And we start looking at changing conversations across the United States and across the globe. So really exciting things that are happening in our organization.
Yes, and the testament to the success is we don't have enough time without taking up the rest of the meeting to name all 48 people. So we're excited to have this information disseminated, and we're super proud and excited to be in business with all of you guys.
Thank you all very, very much. Russ, thank you for allowing Leo and I a few minutes on the show and really celebrating all of our agents.
That is amazing. That number is mind-boggling. $1 billion with anything, including a full brokerage that's national, would be baller level. And that's just one of the teams. So, guys, amazing. What an amazing rocket ship to be on every week. So great to see you guys. Thanks for coming by. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys again next week.
Thank you, buddy. And thank you for all you do, Russ. Appreciate it.
You got it. You got it. See you, Leo.
Bye.
All righty. There you go, guys. How's that for an announcement? 48 people on the list. That's a lot of competition, and we got a lot of really great people doing some amazing stuff. This is a year of production. We're going to be talking a ton about production this year. So let's drop in Megan Kelly. Megan Kelly is VP of Global Operations. We get questions about global stuff all the time, and I don't know a whole lot about a ton of the global details, so I reach out to Megan when I have a global question. Megan Kelly is VP Global Operations. Jump her on in here. Let's say hello. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing good as always. It's Friday. I'm always having fun on Friday. You just come over here and hang out. We'll have a good time.
It's a very good way to end the week with those announcements.
Yeah, no doubt. That's like kicking it off with a bang, man. It makes me want to fire up the grill. To throw a picnic or something. So Megan Kelly, VP Global Operations. What does that mean? What do you do, really?
So, oh goodness. That's a loaded question. I like to say we're the Swiss Army knife of the company. Whatever needs to get done, we pull out our tool and we get it done. We work on the strategic direction for global operations and all of our functions. We manage the onboarding process for all the countries, provide training and agent development. We oversee the agent and staff experience. We have a product group that works on product closely with tech for all of our offerings and tools and systems and CRMs. We partner with marketing and finance on growth and initiatives. We open new countries. as
Yes.
well. So I say we because there's a lot of people that do all of this. It is
Wait a
not,
minute, I
I
thought you did it all.
am, no, I'm representing about 150 people that work on global. So I'm very proud to be able to say that I work with all those people.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions about global stuff, okay? This might be a little bit more of an odd question than a normal question that you'd get. What is the weirdest country to do business in? Because a lot of people don't realize that not all countries do business the way we do business, and some of them are just really unique.
So I hesitate to say weird. Different is definitely there's definitely a difference in all the different countries that we're in. There's countries that it takes 6 to 12 months to do a transaction. It could, like France takes at least 6 months to get a transaction processed and go through. So I
Wow.
try to imagine waiting 6 months to buy a house here, and I don't think anybody would stand for that. I don't think the U.S. is as patient. We have countries that have no licensing.
Yeah.
You have a visa requirement or a
Yeah.
residency requirement, but
Yeah.
there's no, you can sell your mom's house, and you don't have to know what you're doing. We've got countries that have cash at the table most of the time, and they
Yeah.
don't deal with, escrow or any of that sort of thing. So it's very interesting to see how all the different countries work. New Zealand, the agencies typically pay for marketing up to a certain point for every agent.
Interesting.
So there's different standards that we have to take into account when we're opening, because we can't just take our US model and just place it in another country. We need to make sure that we're acting as a local brokerage. So it's been fun to learn some of the new stuff that I've been able to acquire and how we can help the countries grow.
Yeah, fantastic. So let's go backwards and say, every once in a while somebody will say to me, "Hey, Russ, I've got a friend that lives in blah blah blah, and how do we get that country open?" So, like, what is some of the basic criteria to open a country? Because you think, well, I got one person in Colombia, let's rock and roll, right? And that's not maybe, right? Maybe if that person's a glue person and that person's a huge influencer and they understand the metrics of how to do business in that country and we can put them in a leadership position, maybe that's a way to start, right? So what does that criteria look like to open a country?
So we don't have a set criteria. There's no silver bullet. But we do want to hear from every agent, whether it's somebody who has a brother that does business in a country or they have a huge connection, because it helps us understand where our agents are looking to go. We are in the process of seeing how we can open in new countries. In the past, we have become the brokerage there. We're not a franchise, as we all know. So we open the country, we incorporate, get bank accounts. The leadership in the country truly owns the growth and the running of the operations there, and it's been amazing to watch. And now we're looking at how can we open in additional countries quicker and more efficiently, and just learn from what we've learned from the past, and grow and get in these countries that people have one or two contacts in. One thing I would like to just do a shout out really quick is as of Monday, we have a new VP of Global Growth who is
Yes.
working on all of that. Thad Fisher, which is wonderful. He's amazing, and he came over with a lot of history in international real estate, startup mentality, and he's already jumped in and started taking things on. And he's going to be the go-to for growth. But we're excited to see how we can open quicker and more efficiently and faster in some more of these countries that everybody's looking for.
Gotta love that. Yeah, I met Thad on Monday in our large leadership meeting with Glenn and Michael and the gang there. And he seems like he's excited, ready to rock and roll. And I know
Yes.
exactly what he's feeling like right now. Drinking out of a fire hose.
Yes.
It's challenging to change companies, and then it's challenging to change roles. It's challenging to change roles within companies sometimes. So we'll let that guy get his feet under him a little bit, but we're all here to support him. All of us on growth side. I've already said, hey, you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out, because there's a lot of unique things with EXP that's very unique to EXP, which is not the same in other companies. So Megan, let me ask you a personal question, if you don't mind. Like, how do you get to your role? Like, what does that look like? Where did you come from? What experience got you to where you are?
I am lucky enough to have a varied experience. So I was with Realogy for 18 years, anywhere now.
Cool.
8 of those years I was with Sotheby's Realty. I worked in operations. I was director of global operations there. So I learned how to transition companies coming over, work
Yep.
with people in other countries that were becoming Sotheby's Realty at the time. And then I moved into a role working for the CEO of Realogy Franchise Group as his chief of staff, essentially. So there I got to be part of HR, different projects. I launched Social Ad Engine, which was a lead generating tool for all the brands. And then I was working on recruiting and retention for how we could support the different brands there.
Yeah.
And then I saw this job posted and I felt like it was written for me because of all of that and that amazing experience I already had. I could take that and really apply it here with the growth. And, I think I truly enjoy helping people grow and to see what we've been able to do here. And I could see the potential when I reached out to see if I could interview for this position. Of growth and helping agents and helping our teams grow. And it literally felt like this job was written for me. And I was so excited to come over. So, and I'm here almost 3 years.
3 years. 3 years.
3 years in August.
It seems like a week and it seems like a lifetime sometimes, right?
Yes, exactly.
I just celebrated year one back at EXP here, and like June 6th, Monday was my year one back anniversary, which I was like, man, we've done some stuff in the last year. It seems like I just got here, but it seems like, man, there's so much history already because this business moves so fast and things change so fast. It looks very different than it did even a year ago. The world looks different and the real estate business looks completely different. So were you always in real estate? Did you start off in real estate, like born in a real estate family? Grandma was a realtor, mom was a realtor, dad was a realtor. Like, did you come from a real estate family?
My mother was a real estate agent for a while in Southern California. And when I was growing up there, I did do my share of putting brochures and flyers on doorsteps and getting, a quarter an hour because I'm a little old. So that was a lot of money back then for me.
A quarter.
Yeah, it was pretty. I've had talks with her since. So I did grow up a little bit with real estate, not a lot, not like a big real estate family like some people come from, but I have that understanding. And I started in events back when I was a youngin' and moved over to the operations side many years ago because I was working for Sendin at the time and then Realogy. And so I had the opportunity to shift my career and really start something new from events. And I think I learned a lot from that as well. Patience, detail, organizing, project management, the events team deal with a lot. So I am very sensitive to what they have to go through to get something off the ground.
I know I watch the events team do their thing and I'm like, I am not cut out for that job at all. There are so many personalities going so many different directions. And then it's like, what is it? The art of war. Your battle plan never survives first contact with the enemy. It's like, not that we're enemies or anything, but it's like, as soon as you show up, something's going sideways and you just got to dance. You just got to dance.
Something's going to go wrong and you're going to fix it and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Tighten your shoelaces and put a helmet on. Let's go. We're in. Right?
Exactly.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Is there anything coming down the pike with Global that's unique or new at this point? Or is pretty much right now it's like keep doing what we're doing because it's working really well?
So we are looking at new ways to open in countries. That's something Thad's working on right now. So that'll be really great to see push forward. We'll work closely with him on that. We've got several products and things that are getting launched. Christy in our group is launching Flow Living for all the countries, which is a lead generation tool that agents can use. We've got a lot of really cool things in the pipeline that we're working on getting out for all of our teams and leaders in each of those countries that, they've been phenomenal. So we just try to support them in any way we can. We listen to them. They tell us what we need to do.
Yeah.
We can support them and support the agents.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. That is absolutely brilliant. Well, Megan Kelly, I love the fact that I got to know you. Let's see, it's shareholder. We get to sit down and chat, get to figure out we're all humans doing our thing, going our own direction. So it was nice to meet you and talk to you. It's nice to have somebody to direct people to because I don't want to say anything because I don't know what you guys know. It's as much as we know, I don't know anything about what you guys know. So I'm glad you're at the helm there. And I love shoving people over your direction. Like, you want to talk global? That's the one. Go.
You can come over. We can teach you.
Listen, Samuel, the president, I don't know, director of France. I got to meet him, got to know him. We worked on some English lessons before he was on stage. He was so nervous that he wasn't going to sound like he was intelligent because English is his second language, and he was really frustrated by that. And I'm like, don't worry about it, man. We got you. So he and I bantered back and forth, and I asked him a bunch of questions, and it just could not be a nicer human being. And that guy's super driven.
He's extremely intelligent too. He doesn't give himself enough credit. His English is wonderful.
His English is way better than my French or my Spanish or my anything else. So
exactly.
You're doing just fine. You're great. I think it was a ton of fun to get to know him. I think the more connection we have global, the more interesting our business is going to be. So I think that's kind of fun, right?
Exactly. It's just getting to know the different cultures and how people work, not just in real estate, but just in general. Not everybody works like us Americans here, and we have to keep that into account. Sometimes we want to just move forward really fast, but we have to sit and listen because it might be, a high context country that needs to be able to get everything out so that they can have a full conversation. So, you have to sometimes just sit and listen. So adapting and making sure that have that awareness is a key when working internationally and understanding their cultures.
Fantastic. That works. That works for me. So appreciate having you as part of the team. Thank you for showing up today. Thanks for taking a little extra time today. We're having a technical glitch of some kind with Carrie not being here at the moment. So it happens once in a while. So thanks for sticking around and hanging out with me for a couple minutes. So I'm going to let you go. I believe we have Kurt lined up next. Great to see you, Megan. Thanks. We're kind of surfing here. I'm checking notes as we go. Guys, by the way, when you do a live show, guess what? Sometimes we got to do weird stuff, and sometimes we just got to wing it as we go. So I appreciate Megan sticking around. And global is expanding fast, 24 countries. And I know we got a couple others we're working on. There's always something we're working on as we go. So if you guys have Kurt, if he's in the back end, you want to pull him up. If he's here, that would be great. I would love to jump him in. There he goes.
Of course I'm here.
Kurt, my man. So Carrie's got something going on, probably tech issue, something. Sometimes that happens. Family stuff happens at the last second. And I appreciate you jumping on here. So let's jump right into the good stuff with you then. What is your role? Your marketing and
marketing operations. So I work under Leo. So we help build we build a bunch of tools for EXP at the brokerage level and for individual agents. So our team runs exprealty.com, doing all of that to make sure the brand is seen, and we're showing up over Remax and Zillow and others. But we build that agent directory, My Link, My Lead, which is out and exciting and early access right now for agents. And what we're going to talk about, the agent-to-agent referral tool, which came from talking with agents directly.
Okay, so let's go backwards because we got a couple extra minutes here. So let's go backwards here. Sure. You are marketing and operations for exprealty.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Because I was like, all right, which title, where, when, and how? I don't know all the details of all the titles and everybody. So we kind of, sometimes they get mixed up a little bit. So, okay, so exprealty.com. So answer me this question, because I know I asked you this question when I saw you shareholders. What's the difference between exprealty.com and realty.com? Because EXP owns realty.com now, right?
Now, realty.com is a partnership we've done with a third-party company that agents can work with directly to kind of, get leads where they're generating their own leads at realty.com. EXP Realty is the brokerage site. I mean, what we think about for EXP Realty, both in the US, but nationally, it's the mothership. It's, it's our brand as such.
Yes. Okay, good. So exprealty.com is us, right?
Right.
And then realty.com is realty.com. We have a partnership with that helps do some lead generation stuff.
Yeah, great company, great for agents, but separate than EXP itself.
Yeah, so with people, there's confusion. Heck, I had to ask the question. I'm like, what's the difference between these two? Because I'm not in that part of the business typically. So I like to ask because every once in a while I feel silly because I don't know exactly what's going on. So you got to ask when you don't know, right? So exprealty.com. So you mentioned My Link, My Lead, MLML. My Link, My Lead. Give me a quick sketch of that because I like that too.
Yeah, so it's an early access. It's a patent pending technology. EXP's first applications ever filed have been around this. And so it came from us talking to agents with getting questions like, how can I have all of the listings on my own site? Well, I can't do that because of the way that the industry works and licensing restrictions and the MLSs, which are all very great reasons that they protect that data. So we've invented a way to allow agents to have access to the brokerage site. It's the exprealty.com site, so that they can still use content from across the country to generate their own leads. And we're seeing some tremendous success from agents getting started with that.
Gotta love that. Cool. So now, with that being said, that's going to be a fun little program when that thing gets running full swing. So guys, keep your ears open when that thing's running full swing. My Link, My Lead. Great way to get referrals all around the country by promoting properties, right?
Yes, and any EXP agent can sign up for the early access wait list. We're beta testing it with a small number of agents right now. Most of the icons are in there as well. And there's no wrong answer for when you fill out like, hey, why should you come in the wait list? There is a traditional wait list, but I'm needing different types of agents across the country to test the product to make sure that it's working great for everyone.
Good. So guys, you can jump into Workplace and type in my link, my lead, and it'll drop you to something that can connect to you guys.
Absolutely.
Boom. All right. Perfect. Jump on Workplace, my link, my lead. All right. So referrals, man, you guys simplified the referral process.
Well, we think, well, we know so from looking at the numbers from people. So we just heard so much pain when talking to thousands of agents last year, where they were like, referrals were hard to do. They were full of errors. What forms do I use? They were costly because they were having to follow up. Leads were being dropped as well. And they were risky as well for, like, frankly, financial loss. And so we've changed all of that. I mean, we heard from some people it was taking 30 minutes or more to do a referral because, like, hey, whose broker changed and who needs to sign that? It takes less than 60 seconds to make a referral to another agent if you know who the agent is now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So what did you do differently? So I like it's really user friendly. Where do we, number one, let's start off with the simple part. Where do I find this?
So the easiest way for agents, just you're in My EXP every day, is the first tile on My EXP is going to say agent to agent referral. If you click that, it's going to bring you into an agent portal. You can also go to exprealty.com/referrals, and that'll take you to there as well. It's behind the Okta login. And that's how you get started with it. And now we started building this from agents, and we've made it even better, which we rolled out some new things at shareholders. We can talk about how to find those agents to refer to as well.
Nice. Cool. So I've got My EXP on my phone in the top corner here, so I can jump on there, and it's one of the tiles is like
it's the first tile right now, agent to agent referrals.
I love that. Make it so you can't miss it, and we'll still miss it.
Well, it's getting started for people as well. So we're on a run rate. We're going to see we're going to see more than 20,000 completed referrals from EXP agents to other EXP agents this year, which is huge. I mean, that's a huge increase for individual agents. And I mean, some of the other people on earlier talked about, the changing business environment. This is the time where it's like more than anything, you should be cultivating those relationships. And if people are moving outside your service area, go make a referral. It's good for you, but it's good for the receiving agent.
Yeah, fantastic. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't really know about the real estate business and the way EXP works. The sheer amount of referrals that are running around within EXP, that is a massive amount of that's 20,000 transactions that in other companies, it'd be really hard to place those. I mean, the previous way was you jump on Workplace and you get onto the referral group and you're like, hey, I got somebody, need somebody in Whiteside, Michigan. And somebody will pop their name up. Hey, I live there. Let's roll.
Yeah. And we heard, some agents are really good at standard operating procedures. They've got teams. They have a VA to do that 30 to 45 minutes, finding out who the managing brokers are to sign. Yeah. But I've spoken to like 40 to 50% of the agents that have now done a transact or done a referral in the system. And they said they weren't doing referrals anymore because it was just so cumbersome to get all of that done. And they were focusing on other parts of their business. So that's found money that was just falling on the table for them before.
Yes. Well, you look at the average commission in the country right now, typical real estate sales now are in the mid 300s. So you're talking a 10,000 gross commission income, right? And then you're looking at $2,500 for a typical commission.
Yeah.
For one phone call, finding a person, placing that, and then buttoning up the paperwork. So now you just go into My EXP. You can go into my EXP app, right?
Yep.
Or you can go into it online, hit the tile, hit the referral, and then what happens?
Well, there's a couple things. So if you already know the agent you're referring to, so somebody you've worked with before, you can just hit, you can just click referrals. And then the great thing about this too is like you need to protect your client information really until everybody is signed.
Right.
And so you enter your client information, you search you find the other agent by name, and then you basically hit send, and we send it out for e-signature. You still need to sign it yourself. But once everybody is signed, then only then do we release the client information to the receiving agent.
Beautiful.
You get back your signed agreement to upload to SkySlope. It's really that simple. But you mentioned workplace groups. That's where it actually starts. So often, like, people are going, hey, I have somebody moving to Roswell, Georgia. And we heard that pain as well. And you can still do that, and that's great. But also, only to agents, there's a new agent search within that same portal you'll see when you go to referrals.
Yep.
That allows you to have more ways to search for another EXP agent than just what the public has. You could say, I'm looking for an agent in Roswell, Georgia, within 5 miles of this address that speaks Spanish and is a certified mentor. There's 2 women that meet that criteria in Roswell, Georgia that I just mentioned. That's huge for being able to either, one, just send off the referral, or to call up and say, hey, Russ, I have a client that's moving within a mile of your house. Can I send them over to you? I'm much more likely to get a response back that case.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. So simplifying the process, simplifying the selection process, simplifying getting the paperwork part done, and of course, getting everything signed instead of having to mail paper back and forth 14 times with DocuSign and so forth and so on. So
yeah, and then you send it off, and a broker change, or was that the right information? And it's just like, we make it all smooth and simple for everyone. And like you said, more than 20,000 referrals will happen this year alone through there, and we're hoping it's more as more agents start to find out about it. I mean, the slope is just increasing up and to the right, which is all we want. And still, like, doing training for some of the other products, many of the icons are going, whoa, this is out? I didn't know. And so we're now starting to come back and do referral training as well.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. It's another source of income. It's part of what you're doing already. I like to meet people all the time. They aren't living in the town they grew up in. They know a ton of people in their past towns or where their families are and so forth. Start sending all your good stuff to all of the people and start intentionally going for referrals. And you guys made it way more simple. So thank you very much for that, Kurt. Do appreciate it a bunch. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to jump over to Kerry Shull now. So thank you, sir. Have a good one. Referrals, put them in your pocket, right? Ready to go. All right. So let's just jump right over to Kerry Shull. I know. How frazzled are you now?
Oh, I'm not frazzled at all. I'm so excited to be here. Hi, Russ.
Yeah, great. Good morning. How are you? Happy Friday. I'm glad to have you here today. Every once in a while, we have oddities and miscommunications and links that are weird and all that stuff. So welcome to being part of the tech world and live.
Thank you. Well, I'm super pumped to be here.
All right. So we've got about 10 minutes or so.
Awesome.
Here's the fun part. I know you well enough to know we can make a difference in 10 minutes.
That's true.
So let's start off with give a quick history of who you are. A lot of people don't know who you are. Saw all the marketing and stuff, but give everybody a quick history so they know where you're at and who you are.
Sure. I'm in the DC metropolitan area. I have a large team. We've done about 7 billion in sales. There are about 80 of us on the team right now.
Yes.
About 50 agents. So we are highly productive because of our ISA team structure. And we're new to EXP. We're about 100 days in and absolutely loving it.
That is fantastic. So what do you mean by ISA team? So a lot of people might not know what that is. So what do you mean by ISA team?
So inside sales agents. So we are very focused on direct response marketing. So therefore we have a lot of leads coming into our system. Right. And our ISA team is the secret sauce that helps us to be highly productive and not at our desks all day.
Yeah. So you've got people that are doing the cultivating / watering the plant and picking the weeds and all that stuff that gets that plant tall and healthy. And then when it's ready to go, then they hand it over to one of the people live. You get a live human ready to rock and roll.
Sure. Yep.
Cool. That's a cool way of doing business. What made you think of going that route?
I had a coach early on. I think coaches are amazing. But one of the things now that I'm a coach, I look at the individual human being and I say, what are your strengths and weaknesses? And that's how you develop your individual growth plan. Right. And so my coach told me, you will need to be the ISA, the longest carry. And I about ran right out of the industry because I thought, dear God, I don't want to do that. That's not my highest and best use. And so I started my team in 2010. I hired three ISAs out of the gate. I had a lot of confidence in my ability to generate leads.
Yes.
and zero confidence in my ability or desire to sit at a desk and call those leads back. And I watched
Yes.
a lot of agents suffer because they generated leads because they liked that part.
Yeah.
And then they failed to follow up. And so they wasted a lot of money and didn't get an ROI. And I was really committed to being able to live in my strength and succeed at filling the gaps for my weaknesses.
Fantastic. There's a lot of people that will say, well, Russ, what you got to do is you got to minimize your weaknesses so they don't stick out as much. And reality is when you really start to get into the real coaching training systems, now, almost all of them are starting to go to, let's put you in a position where you are playing to your strengths consistently. I mean, that's what I do in my job. Michael Valdez, Dave Canor, those guys are like, Russ, this is what you're great at. Do your thing. And I couldn't be any freaking happier because I'm doing what I love and what I'm good at. And it makes the biggest difference. I mean, do I have some issues? Sure, of course, we all have them. But I don't build a system where I got to be the person that has to do the follow-up 800 times because that's not me either. I like to do the face stuff and the people stuff. Let somebody else that loves not going out, loves doing that part. So that is absolutely brilliant. So when did you implement that part of the process? Like, is it within a year, 2, 3, 6?
So I started my team in 2010. I got in the resale side of the business in 2008. Started my team in 2010.
Yeah.
In our first 5 years, we did 365 transactions in a year. So we were really focused on growth. And I think the ISA's ability to consistently book appointments is what allowed us to scale. But I hired 3 off the bat because what happened is I looked around and I saw all these people trying to hire ISAs that were failing. And I think the ISA role is a really grinding role. And you got to have a lot of resilience and you got to have a lot of grit and you have to be able to recover from people being very rude to you very quickly. Right? So most people don't have the mental strength to stay consistent and the ability to close. So when I was really thinking about what I needed to do, I thought, well, if I hire 3 and, 1 doesn't make it, that's okay. If I hire 3 and 3 make it, but what if I hire 3 and only 1 makes it? I'd rather do that training 1 time.
Yes. Actually kind of funny because I did that when I was working in a previous role and I had basically I was running an ISA for recruiting attraction and we were doing all the follow calls, 18,000 calls my team did every single month, right? But we hired 200 people a month. So it was working out pretty well. And one of the things I found out real quick is I'm going to hire 3 at a time because then I'm training 3 people at once. And and the plan was one's got to survive. I hoped and wished and prayed all 3 of them survive, but that's just not the nature of the way things are. So when you're building a team, a lot of agents will say, team leads will say, well, I'm going to get a buyer's agent. I get 3 of them, give them all the same opportunity. One's going to no-show, one's going to work kind of partial, and the other one's going to knock it all the way out of the park.
Yep.
That way your failure is still a success because you're left with 1 standing. You're still a success, right? And you can do that once or twice a year. So that's a brilliant process. I'm glad that works for you too, because I accidentally stumbled into it.
The thing that I think that's interesting about it is so many people don't approach it that way. And here's how they feel. Oh, well, I'm just not good at hiring.
Yes.
I'm not good at training. They start to develop these stories about why they're a failure. And the truth is the very successful people have the exact same challenges. They just see that it's possible faster.
Yes.
And they don't make it a story about them. They make it clarity about, to succeed at doing this, I have to structure it this way. Yeah. So I think it's actually a massive opportunity, not just when you're hiring for an ISA. Here's another trick with the ISA side, because I'm kind of obsessed with it. Yeah. You have to make sure that you have the right accountability. Even the rock stars will fall down if they're not getting accolades for their success and coaching on the things that aren't going well. And so you'll have 3 failures if you don't have the right systems to support their success.
So coaching is super important with these guys because you're like, these guys are mechanical animals. They're making 200 and 300 calls a day, but they're still humans. And they still have their ups and their downs, and they still have bad days and good days, and they have wins. And every once in a while, somebody just hurts my feelings. Because they're human, right? So coaching them and having accountability and then recognition, making sure they know they're loved and appreciated, make sure they know that their role is valuable, because without their role, the rest of you guys are going to be scratching really hard to get your own business. Mm-hmm. So it really is key. It's the beginning of everything. And then you guys take enrollment. You guys get the pretty part. But there's some people that love that, right? But they still want to feel appreciated.
They do.
Brilliant.
And then as a team leader, managing the relationship between the ISAs and the OSAs on my team, one of the things that I believe is our secret sauce, I don't have somebody who decides like this person gets this lead.
Right.
The ISA makes that decision based on statistics, right? And they are the ones, they're making money when the group succeeds. They all succeed, right? So they want to be able to trust the business that they've been working hard on bringing to the table with someone that they trust has the right personality, the right expertise, the right to get that business closed. And so I leave the ISA the autonomy of making that decision.
Well, that is actually brilliant. And I would say most people wouldn't do it that way. I haven't seen it done that way. But reality is, like when I had Stephanie would get somebody on the other end and fine. And Stephanie knows that person and knows that personality style. So if you get a super calm, quiet, analytical person, you put them with happy, scrappy Russ, you're going to have an issue potentially. So I can adapt, of course, but you want to match the personality type with the person on the team that's probably going to be the best fit for those people. Sometimes you need a strong personality. Sometimes you just need somebody to hug them and cuddle them to success. So you got to make that match. That's a brilliant way of doing that. I like that.
Well, and the other thing is, guess who is the boots on the ground that knows when the OSA is struggling with something in their personal life first? Is it me who knows that, or is it the ISAs? It's the ISAs because they see, wait a minute, so-and-so is following their notes, they're consistent, and then boom, it's falling off. So what do we need to do to have accountability to bring them back to following the system before we load them with leads? If there were one person that was responsible for those decisions, the amount of time that could pass by before they realized that they needed to make a change is a dangerous amount of time.
I've never had anybody want to fail, but we've had people that slipped through the cracks because we didn't know they were failing and didn't manage to that and have accountability systems in place to know when they were failing early in the process. So we could sit them down and get them going in the right directions. And a lot of times it's family stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that has nothing to do with business that really drags them down. They have children issues and they have health issues and parents issues and grandparents issues. That's like, it's part of being human, but we got to be, as leaders, we got to know what our people are doing. And that's brilliant, using them as your eyes and ears on the ground. So I love that. All right, we got 30 seconds and then we got to jump. I know, I wish I had 2 more hours. I'm bringing you back, by the way.
Oh, good. I promise next time I will have it all dialed in.
Oh, good. It happens. Stuff happens. No big deal. That's the worst you do. We are in great shape. Good news is we got a lot more we could talk about. So 30 seconds. If you're going to do one thing right now in this market as a real estate agent, having struggling producer, top level producer, what does everybody need to be doing in this market right now?
The number one thing I would say is use data to help you problem solve. And so I've been digging into this with my team. We have a process called the reality check analysis, where we look at 90 days of closings in the initial buyer consult. We're doing that to reflect the reality of the market so they understand how they're going to need to approach bidding. And if there aren't 3 properties that they would have bought in the last 90 days, you've got to adjust their expectations immediately.
Yes.
And the other piece is for somebody who is a renter that's buying, you've got to show them the math. Show them somebody who is in a rental. What was the price of that rental 5 years ago, so that you look at how much they're going to spend. Don't look at a year, look at 5 years, because they're making this decision repeatedly. If they've been renting for 7 years, show them what it looks like for 7 years projected forward based on history, and you're going to hit them with the number. We just did this on my team last statement. $2,000 a month for a rental, which is low in our area. They lost $157,000 in 5 years based on the current increase in rental value. You and I are
going to do the math on that. We're going to do that math live because I teach that same thing and it is super powerful. Everybody gets off the fence, mind blown. And you don't tell them, you show them.
Yes.
Right? Show them.
Exactly.
Love that. I love that. I'll be talking to you later today to make sure we get you back. Okay. We'll pick a date. Thank you very much, Carrie Schill. Appreciate it a bunch. Thank you for the show today, guys. I know it was kind of a little bit different. Good news is we got to talk to Megan Kelly for a longer period of time. If you guys haven't seen the NPS is there, right? Yes. Grab that thing. Tell us how we did. Let us know. Give us some constructive feedback. Let us know what you like, what we can do a little bit better. Love to see that. Thank you guys for all of your feedback and the people that watch every single week. I want you guys to stay tuned. We got a quick video on recognition for Icon Awards, and then stay tuned for our conversations. My name is Russ Lag, and happy Friday, Big Agent Meeting. I'll see you guys next week. I'm out.